Hello, all you people. We're back with another holiday-themed editorial. So far, the only one we actually did was the love potion one around Valentine's Day. So here we are with 3 tales surrounding Halloween. One tale being redone by a cartoon with quite the bit of deviation to make it safe for kids. Let's start out with the tale of one of the scariest entities surrounding the event. No, not the devil, but instead death. Where to start? Well, first, the origin. Some say that the concept of the entity death came around the 14th century. I mean, these plague doctor designs didn't really help make anyone feel safe. Death is known as the harvester of souls, hence the scythe, because scythes are a tool for farming. Let's turn to his or her design. Never really specific what gender death is. Everyone knows death is a skeleton because, of course, similar to Medusa, if you see or even touch death, you die immediately. I always knew ghost types were overpowered, but never to this level. Anyways, the black cloak that covers Death's body could have 2 meanings. The first being, and more well known, is that it helps conceal death and make him lurk in the shadows, as nobody knows when death will happen, and death is always prepared for accidents, quote unquote. Plus, I hear shadow travel is much faster and cheaper than airplanes or taxis. The second meaning of the cloak is for mourning. You know, like how people are supposed to wear black clothes at funerals. But why would death mourn? Well, because humans mourn. We created the figure of death, so why shouldn't it mourn for when we die? Though death is always serious, I can't help but laugh at the early version of death in Family Guy just because he was made more human. Kudos to you, early seasons of Family Guy. Talking about death would be kinda short, so let's move on to the second topic, the jack-o'-lantern. If you've seen the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy's Halloween special, which was given a pretty fun game, then you kinda know this tale. There once was a man named Jack, or Stingy Jack, who invited the devil out to a drink one day. Wait, what? Yeah, this guy just asked the devil, the Lord of Darkness and Evil, to have a drink with him. But Jack doesn't want to pay, because he's stingy, of course, so he asks the devil to. And by that, I mean he asks the devil to turn into a coin to be used to pay for the drinks. But Jack takes the devil coin and it next to a silver cross. He asks the devil not to claim his soul if he were to die in the next year in exchange for the devil's freedom. Of course, the devil would accept this, and 1 year passes uneventfully. When does the lantern come into this? In a minute, we have to see Jack trick the devil one more time. It's plot relevant. I'm pretty sure the viewer is in another tab watching and not paying attention. Anyways, Jack tricks the devil into getting an apple for him, somehow. While the devil's in the tree, Jack carves a cross into the tree, and the devil is unable to get down for some reason. Apparently the devil doesn't like jumping out of trees. If only Adam knew about carving a cross into the tree to render the devil powerless. Anyways, Jack makes the same deal, but extending it to 10 years or forever. I had varying sources for this. The devil accepts, and Jack still gets his apple. But during these 10 years, Jack did die somehow. That's not really said either. Staying to his word, the devil didn't take his soul to the underworld, since God didn't even want Jack in heaven despite him making a fool of the devil. And since the devil couldn't take him past the gates into hell, he told him to go back from where he came. His house, I guess. But the way back was dark and windy, so the devil gave him an ember straight from hell to help him light the way. Obviously, holding an ember literally from the pits of hell is going to be very hot, so he put it in a hollowed-out turnip. Side note, turnips were used before pumpkins. So it became his lantern, and he was Jack of the Lantern, later getting shortened to Jack-o'-lantern. It was also said that these lanterns help ward off evil spirits during Halloween because light, even though it was an ember straight from hell that was used first, it should be more inviting. So when are we getting the version where Jack is female? Never. Unless Hollywood runs out of ideas for the umpteenth time. So yeah, there's your jack-o'-lanterns. Came from a guy outsmarting the devil until he died and is forced to wander with his lantern to go back to where he came from, whatever that means. The devil truly got the last laugh in the end. Man, that Jack sure is a jerk. Where do you people keep coming from? Talk about zombies now. I want to know how to stop Lord Raptor over there. Just punch him. Come on, talk about zombies. Fine. Originally I was going to look more into the devil, but zombies it is. Zombies are everywhere. in media nowadays. Games, movies, shows, music, kind of. The first movie to use zombies is George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead, which would have originally been titled Night of the Flesh Eaters because he describes them more as ghouls rather than zombies, due to zombies being used more with Haitian folklore. Speaking of that Haitian folklore, let's talk about it and how different it is from zombies we know of. In Haitian folklore, zombies were creations of voodoo witch doctors or bokors. People would often get turned into zombies if they crossed a bokor or were just a jerk in life. If the person is still living, the bokor could hex the person, which makes the target feel ill and then die. Then the bokor either is gifted the body or just steals it from the grave. Sometimes they use the coupe padre, I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but it's the deadly toxin in porcupine fish. Fun fact, coupe padre is said to be at least 1,200 times more potent than cyanide. When they reanimate, they can talk a few very slurred phrases and have no free will of their own. They are also not aggressive, but instead submissive to their bokor or owner, since some bokor often sell them off as slaves. In the Creole versions of zombies, they're just people who returned with no free will, while Nzambi have their version as spirits of the dead. All of these have the same basic premise. The person is dead and comes back and has no free will, unlike warm bodies. So, I need to find his bokor then. Yeah, but Lord Raptor already wants to kill Ozam, and he has free will, so you can't really do anything about him. Man, you're useless. Anyways, those are 3 well-known Halloween entities. Hope you enjoyed and have a happy Halloween or All Hallows Eve.